G'day there. I just wanted to show my success, and it looks like that's as close as I'm getting. I finally made freestanding plasma. It's not real big, but if I get something to arc to, it should get a little bigger. I think I've got about 5mm there. They don't focus on the wall. Silly camera. Before what I've been doing, I do have my connection earthed out down here to a pin in the power point, which is probably too dark to see down there. What I had been doing up until just now was clipping a lead on here and taking the other end of that lead and hooking it up to my negative DC power supply and earth ground. As you can see, that made the little light. It does run a little bit better there. And then we get much better plasma. You can hear the noise it's making. Quite hot, a little bit stingy. I finally got one of these guys working as well, which is nice. And I'm not holding the wires there, it just works. If I touch the wires, it goes a lot brighter. And we can get quite some distance away. Maybe 4 meters, 3 to 4 meters away, before that goes out. So I've got quite a wireless field there. And as I just discovered, I can now get the plasma to stay. Although smaller, oh, it's gone really small now. Oh, there it goes, back again. And the desk's still got a bit of clutter on it. That was part of it, as Tesla Tronix suggested in my earlier video, in the comments. All the clutter on my desk was loading it up. I actually found I had a few of these SWES receivers around, and it's just a not connected one, nothing on it, just a Bifilar pancake coil. And if I put this little bucket of SWES thingies on there, you can see the coil works as quite a nice little repeater. Now these guys don't light up that well, just near the coil on their own. If I touch them, sometimes they work. They're really pedantic. There we go. Now it's working. But not much range on it. Alright. Yeah. Put it on there, and look at that. That's not connected to anything. As soon as I start bringing it into range, so these little SWES coils make a great little repeater. Oh, I've lost my plasma again. It's going to come back. There it is. What happens there is, because this is 0.5mm wire, it's pretty thick for Tesla coil stuff. I've actually had to cut it on a very steep angle with my little cutters, and to get a point. And the longer the plasma arcs there, then the more the point gets hot and gets blunt. I've been playing around a bit with the different diodes. I've done a bunch of combinations of 4007 diodes. I've discovered that 2 LEDs in parallel gives the best performance. I have my scope hooked up here. Now what I thought was interesting, the yellow line here is our collector. And it's on the 1x scale on the probe. So, oh no, we are on the 10x scale, so we've got about 60 volts peak to peak. 60, 70 volts peak to peak, at just under 1.7 megahertz. It does lie by a degree of magnitude. It says kilohertz there, but I promise you it really is megahertz. I'm getting 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 megahertz oscillations on the bottom of the base. I do have over 2000 volts peak to peak at the other end of that. That is also on the 10 times probe. Okay, and when I get the freestanding plasma, this is coming on and off there, and it does change as I move my hand around and do different things. I'm just about ready to do a top load, get some good capacitive coupling going. Ow, that zapped me. That's not the first time it zapped me. It normally just burns. But anyway, to get good plasma, you do need it to be up around the 9 to 10 megahertz range. Okay, when it's 7, 8, doesn't do plasma well. I do have, should hopefully have some increased brightness off these guys. As you can see, it's actually not just lighting up the globe, but throwing out decent light now. Reasonable range on this one. And yes, it is just about time to start moving things away from the computers. I am now starting to have my USB hub drop in and out just when I turn the thing on, before I even start drawing sparks. Throw a few sparks like this and the USB hub starts going crazy. I'll see if this will work. It's a bit hit and miss with these guys. Burnt out incandescent. Don't know if it's going to work. It doesn't look like it's going to work today. I have had big orange streams of plasma in there. Little bits of purple right at the arc point near the bits of broken wire. And big orange streams inside, but that doesn't seem to be working. There we go. I don't know if the camera caught that. I wasn't pointing there. You do need to get quite a decent contact point, and you do need to have your hand some sort of earth on the outside in an appropriate position. There it goes. I think you saw that. So that's what we get from those guys. There is a neon around somewhere which I've misplaced that does light up. You do need to earth one side of the neon, and you do need a fair bit of antenna on the other, generally hold on to it. So yeah, I'm coming along nicely now. I've been playing around with capacitive coupling with the top and the base. A lot of that's just by moving my hand up and down like this and observing the points that the lights get brighter. I get good frequency in peak to peak waveform here, and lots of plasma out the top. I have had probably 3 times that freestanding, but it's hard to replicate. I'm not quite sure what I did there. Every time I move things around lately, every time I turn it on, I get slightly different results. So I've got a loose connection or something somewhere, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. Safety warning, cardboard tube. I started burning it. And if you do that, and you grab this here earth, and this is how it was set up when I started burning it. Trying to start a fire, because carbon is a conductor and it's trying to arc to earth. Okay? So you got to watch that one with cardboard Tesla coils. And that's actually how I started it. Because I wanted to see what happens when you spray water through plasma. And I don't think my plasma is big enough to do anything interesting. But I'm just going to turn that off now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm just going to turn that off now before I start a fire and let it dry out. Because wet cardboard does make a pretty decent conductor. And it will arc. And once you start getting some black stuff, that's carbon. Carbon is also a conductor. And yeah, we don't want to burn the house down. So anyway, that's where I'm at the moment. My base is a lot more solid. I've used a bit more tape and some blue tack and stuff. I've got my transistor in there. Got a couple of big fat resistors. I've got 57k there. thicker wires, particularly on and off my primary coil, and thick earth wire was a big part of my problems before. I was using these skinny little clip leads. They're not designed to take the ampage net required through. I have tried measuring amps again on my multimeter here. I do show it using anywhere between 200 and 500 milliamps, but, big but, it's totally out of tune when you put the multimeter in. I can't get plasma at all when it's got the multimeter hooked up, and the effect on the lights is pathetic. I can get them to light up about this far away. This one here will not light fully. Even this fluoro, which you saw me pull all the way over here before, it gets to about here and it dies. It really only works if you hold it vertically that way. That's with the multimeter hooked up. So working out exactly what the amps are is going to be real tricky, because you just can't measure them and still have it work. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I thought I'd give you a bit of an update for anyone that's interested in following this one. I'm going to get back to playing with some SWES stuff again soon. Got a few other projects I'm working on as well. A few more living batteries and things like that. So thanks for watching, and I'll keep you posted.